Willpower alone can't push you to the next level, but being around the right people will. Let me repeat it. Willpower, which is a limited resource that you have, is not gonna take you to the next level, but being around the right people will. Looking back in my life, I can clearly see the number of people who had such a deep impact in my life. They changed how I think, how I see the world. They changed how I work, my attitudes, mindsets in life. And I'm forever indebted to these people. Just even recently, I was having a conversation over lunch with a friend. He made me see my blind spots. He made me that jump that I really needed to make in my life. I had a college math teacher. He used to have story times on Friday classes, last minute 5 minutes of the class. And he would just talk about different stories. Sometimes he would quote experiences from his life. Sometimes he would read poetry. And that made the class really fun. And he was very passionate about mathematics. He definitely made us feel the beauty, feel and appreciate the beauty of mathematics. And at one point, he actually said, "We are artists." And the way he said it with so much passion, so much spark in his eyes. This kind of experiences, I have so many such experiences. And not even just experiences, just being consistently around people who elevate you. My parents, my friends, even my ex. She taught me so much about love, so much about kindness and loyalty. This kind of learning experiences never leave you. And this made me realize we are very much the product of our environment. Try having a British accent growing up in America. It's impossible. If you're around people who have American accent, you're gonna have American accent. It's inevitable. And as such, we grow up doing what people around us doing. Even our mindsets and mentality, it's very much like the people who are closest to us. And we know this instinctively. We know the importance of this. But for some reason, we tell ourselves, hey, I'm different. I'm not gonna let these affect me. I'm different. I have self control. There are people who have bad habits around me. No, I'm not gonna let these affect me. And that is bullshit. It's not the willpower that gets you the results in your life, but it's the habits, systems. Really, it just gets to the fact that we are habitual creatures, right? Because willpower is a limited supply. And there are studies show that. Willpower is almost like a tank of energy that you use throughout the day. Every time you make a decision, you try to force yourself, you put in the effort. When you resist a temptation, you're using that limited energy. And you drain this willpower throughout the day. And at the end of the day, you just fall back to your systems and habits. And that's what James Clear says, right? We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall back to the level of our systems. And that is true. Everyone has the same goal. But at the end of the day, it's your habits and systems, all the routine automatic things. And that's why self control is a short term strategy. Maybe here and now and then you'll be able to resist the temptation. But eventually, eventually, you're going to be the product of your environment. So you need to scrutinize your environment and get rid of every single negative influence as much as you can muster the courage to get rid of. And that's why you need to scrutinize your environment. You'll quickly realize that there are people around you who place limitations on you. They say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's that's too difficult, that's too out of reach, and this is all you can do. And when you start to propose some certain ideas or, things you want to do that's going to take you to your next level, that's going to change your life positively, they might act weird. They might react by saying, "Oh, why are you trying to do that? Why are you trying to do too much? Like, you're trying to be too ambitious or too different." People don't want to see you change, especially if these are people who have been around you this whole time. They don't want to lose you because if they keep you, it's going to reaffirm their identity. They're going to be more comfortable, right? Don't let your current circumstances, the things you're going through, shape who you are. Imagine a tiger in a zoo versus a tiger in the jungle. You are the tiger in the jungle. You're supposed to be in the jungle. But if you're in a zoo, you're put in a box. And if society or friends or family, they put limitations on you and they put you in a zoo, and you can't be tiger there, can you? What kind of tiger is a tiger in a zoo, right? Tiger is supposed to be a wild creature in the jungle. And that's exactly what happens when people around you drag you down, the environment, it influences you, puts you in a zoo, basically. But you need to be out in the wild and be alone if you have to. Be alone if you have to. I had periods in my life where I had nothing but books and YouTubers, and it was the most fun time I ever had. Yeah, I spent so much time with the existentialist philosophers, post structuralists, and they deeply changed my life. But even better thing is actually having real people around you. That is much more impactful than reading books. Not saying reading books is not that impactful. Yes, it can change your life. But having real people around you who are positive, hardworking, ambitious, fun, that's totally going to change your life. My brother is a prime example. I've seen how hard he works. I used to live with him during the COVID times, and he would wake up around 7 and 8 and work until 6 p.m., 5 p.m., nonstop. Sometimes he doesn't even have time to have lunch. He works so hard to the point that at the end of the day, he just kind of collapses on his couch. And like he doesn't even have an energy to check out his phone and scrolling. No, he literally works so hard that he exhausts all his mental energy. When I'm around a person like that, how can I be lazy? It's impossible. I used to work much less. Like I used to just, I don't know, value work life balance a lot more. And I used to be a lot more chill. But being around him made me want to work hard. Like it was automatic. I didn't have to do anything. Just being around him was enough to give me the motivation, the spark to work harder, to make things happen. And look at the kind of life he is living as a result of his hard work. It's very inspiring. It's happening immediately, right in front of your eyes. That's why the right people around you create a structure that makes growth inevitable. This is also why some of the greatest artists are born in the same area, same time period, and they were usually friends, or at least kept sharing ideas with one another. That's why 20th century France, especially Paris, was such a prolific period with artists and philosophers. You'll quickly realize that, oh, there is almost this community kind of thing. They used to hang around with each other, they used to share ideas. And these kind of prolific period are definitely built by a community of people who are ambitious, a community of people who are taking things to the next level. And it's a synergetic chemistry between these people. So, the lesson here is you essentially absorb the energy of people around you. Ever noticed how, when you're around people who are positive, it takes you up a notch? You feel good too. And when you're around people who complains all the time, who gossips all the time, who are not ambitious, who are not doing things in life, it takes you down a notch. It's essentially a result of a mirror neuron. And that explains everything. All the reason that we essentially copy the behavior of those around us. Ever noticed how when you smile at a baby, it smiles back? That's mirror neuron. Our brain is programmed, literally programmed, to copy the behavior, the mood, the energy of people around us. So do not underestimate the importance of environment. Let me just ask you, think about your environment. Is it what you want it to be? What is the most conducive action and the way of living given my environment? I assume most people are not going to be super proud of the answer. Do you have the right people around you? Are you having the right experiences? Are you creating the environment that will help you accomplish your goals and objectives? These are extremely important questions because your environment will shape you, make you, or keep you from your objectives. And you gotta realize nothing changes if nothing changes. Einstein said, insanity is keep doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results, right? And the same logic applies here. Insanity is staying in the same environment again and again and again and expecting different results. Remember, you're the product of your environment. And I haven't even touched the subject of happiness and meaningful relationships. Just imagine having a very supportive friend or group of people around you who are positive, fun, who have shared values, so you push each other to be better, to grow every day. Imagine how that relationship would look like and feel like. Relationships are one of the most important factors in terms of happiness in life, satisfaction in life. And this is also showed by Harvard study. They followed hundreds of people since the age of 20, I guess, all the way till 70, 80. It's the longest, one of the longest running studies ever done. And they wanted to understand what is the biggest factor or most common factor among these people who are happy and satisfied. And guess what? It's the quality of relationships. And we know this. We know the quality of relationships affect our happiness levels. It's immediate. When you have people around you who are supportive, who loves you, life is so much different. No matter how much struggle you're going through, you're gonna get through it. Because of these people, it gives your life meaning. I hope you enjoyed this talk. I hope you realized how much life is an uphill battle if you don't have the right people around you. And cheers.